Welcome back to another episode of Klepper's Corner. Today we're checking out a couple of moments from the rally that President Obama held in Arizona. Let's take a look first at President Obama's remarks on people looking towards Trump for change. Roll the clip.
And it's going to be tight because a lot of Americans are struggling right now. As a country, we've been through a lot over the last few years. We've had a historic pandemic that wreaked havoc on communities and businesses. Disruptions from the pandemic then caused prices to spike, and that put a strain on family budgets. And in a lot of ways, it felt like the aspirations of working people have taken a back seat to the priorities of the rich and the powerful and the well-connected. So I understand why people are looking to shake things up. I get why sometimes folks are frustrated with politics. I'm sometimes frustrated with politics. So I get it. What I cannot understand is why anyone would think that Donald Trump will shake things up in a way that is good for you. That I don't understand. Because there is absolutely no evidence that this man thinks about anybody but himself. I've said it before. Donald Trump is a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down that golden escalator 9 years ago.
What'd you think of that? Trump certainly brings a change to the table, but perhaps not one that most are looking for. Now let's take a look at President Obama's take on Trump's recent grifts.
And when he's not complaining, he's trying to sell you stuff. He's got his gold sneakers. He's got the $100,000 watch. Says it's a Swiss watch, but nobody can actually figure out where in Switzerland was this thing made. He's got, this is my favorite. He's got the Trump Bible. Wants you to buy the Word of God, Donald Trump edition. His name's going to be on there, embossed, right next to Luke and Mark and Matthew. And by the way, I will give you one guess. You could not make this stuff up. Where these Bibles are made. So, Mr. Tough Guy on China, except when he can make a few bucks, hawking his Trump edition Bibles. Come on, man. You can't make this stuff up. But he's doing it. And the reason he's doing it is because what he cares about is his ego and his money and his status. He's not thinking about you. Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than a means to his ends.
It really shows that you're in touch whenever you're selling Bibles with your name on it or $100,000 Chinese watches, and the hypocrisy of being against China and wanting to impose ridiculous tariffs while most of your products are made there. That is just laughable. Let's now see what Obama says on Trump's mental capacity.
I do have to point out that along with his intentions, there is also a question of his competence. Have you seen him lately? I mean, he is out there, he's given 2.5 hour speeches, just word salads. You have no idea what he's talking about. He's talking about Hannibal Lecter, he's talking about this, he's talking about that. He held a town hall meeting where he just, let me explain, because I've done a lot of town hall meetings. The point of a town hall meeting is to take questions. He just decided, you know what, I'm going to stop taking questions, and then he's swaying to Ave Maria and YMCA for about half an hour, Folks are standing there not sure what's happening. Can you imagine if I did that? Can you imagine if Ruben did that right in the middle? Now, our playlist would probably be better. Way better. But
great point brought up by the president. People constantly question Biden's mental capacity, but Trump's is hardly ever under scrutiny, even when he's completely stopping town halls to listen to music or bringing up Hannibal Lecter and electrocuting sharks. Now, here's what President Obama had to say on Trump's IVF and J6 claims.
he called himself the father of IVF. I do not know what that means. You do not either. He said January 6th was a day of love. Do not boo, vote. It made January 6th sound like it was Woodstock. You would be worried if your grandpa was acting like this. No, I'm not joking. You would, right? You'd call up your cousins and you say, have you noticed? So imagine it coming from a guy who wants to be given unchecked power. Tucson, we do not need to see what an older, loonier Donald Trump looks like with no guardrails. We have had enough of arrogance and bumbling and bluster and division. America's ready to turn the page. We're ready for a better story. We are ready for a president, Kamala Harris.
Yes, January 6th, the day of love. What kind of disconnection from reality must you have to say that and actually believe it? This one is a little semantical, but here's Obama asking the question, has Trump ever changed a tire?
And in the White House, she will have an outstanding partner in Governor Tim Walz. Love that dude. Tim's a veteran. He's a teacher, he's a coach, he's a hunter, been a great governor working with Democrats and Republicans to get stuff done. And I learned the other day, he can take a vintage truck apart and put it back together again, which is just cool. You think Donald Trump can do that? For that matter, do you think Donald Trump has ever changed a tire in his life? Yeah, you know, he's like having Jeeves change his tire. The point is, I was just picturing it.
Trump has definitely never changed a tire. Now, this one is a good one. Here's President Obama on the first 2 years of Trump's presidency and the performance of the economy during that time period.
And I'll hear some people say, you know, well, I remember the economy when those first 2 years with Trump, they were pretty good. And I say, yeah, it was good. Because it was my economy that I gave to him. I had spent the previous 8 years cleaning up the mess that Republicans had left me. So when I handed over the economy to Donald Trump, we had had 75 straight months of job growth. And I said, here you go. And all he did with it was give a tax cut to people who did not need one. And drove up the deficit in the process. And now he wants to do it again. Now,
Burn. That's all that can be said there. Now here's what Obama had to say on J.D. Vance's whimsical take that Trump saved Obamacare. Let's take a look.
when it comes to health care, Donald Trump's got one answer, and that is end Obamacare. Get rid of the Affordable Care Act, even though 45 million people rely on it. Couple of weeks ago, his running mate had the nerve, the chutzpah, to say that Donald Trump salvaged the Affordable Care Act. What? Donald Trump spent his entire presidency trying to dismantle it, and he couldn't even do that right. Thanks to John McCain, he didn't do it.
Yeah, sure, Trump saved Obamacare after attempting to kill it and replace it with his concept of a plan. If you ignore the killing part, now let's take a look on Trump's diaper dilemma.
So, if you're a new parent, you could qualify for a $6,000 tax credit during the first year of your child's life. That will help, because raising kids is hard. She wants to make it easier to afford stuff like a crib or a car seat or diapers. You think Donald Trump's ever changed a diaper? No. Jeeves, what is this?
His own, the crowd screamed and Obama chuckled. It's probably true, and here's President Obama on the Trump-Vance ticket using immigrants as their scapegoat for every single political issue.
If you challenge Trump or J.D. Vance on these quote-unquote concepts, they'll fall back on one final answer. This is their go-to. After everything else makes no sense, they'll go, and it doesn't matter what the issue is, housing, health care, education, paying the bills, he'll blame immigrants. He wants you to believe that if you let him round up whoever he wants and ship them out, all your problems will be solved. Now, wait, hold on a second, because this is a serious piece of business. Arizona's a border state. You know, there are real issues at the border. We can't pretend there are not. We are a nation of laws, and we are a nation of immigrants. We were built on immigrants looking for a better life. We also have to make sure that the system works the way it was supposed to, right? So we have a real problem to solve.
Or how about this? Trump has continuously been bringing up the fact that Kamala has been VP for 4 years and that she should have legislatively accomplished more during her tenure. When we can spin that argument on the presidency of Donald Trump, here's Obama's take on that.
Remember, Donald Trump was president for 4 years. He likes to talk about Kamala being vice president 4 years. We remember you being president, buddy, for 4 years.
And finally, here's President Obama's remarks on the comments that Trump has made on POWs like John McCain and service members of our country.
And yet when Donald Trump lies or cheats or bullies or shows utter disregard for our Constitution, when he calls service members like John McCain losers because they died in battle or were captured, when he calls fellow citizens vermin or the enemy within, people make excuses for it. They think it's okay, so long as their side wins. And I have to say, I've noticed this especially with some men who think Trump's behavior, the bullying and the putting people down and acting all, pretend tough guy, that somehow that's a sign of strength. I am here to tell you that is not what real strength is. Never has been. Real strength is about working hard, and carrying a heavy load without complaining. Real strength is about taking responsibility for your actions and telling the truth even when it's inconvenient. Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. That's what we should want for our daughters and our sons. That's what I want to see in the President of the United States of America.
Some great points brought up by former President Obama, but there's much more to come, folks. For updates on the election and election coverage daily, subscribe to this channel, like and comment. Or if you hated this video, make sure to leave a hate comment and a dislike. I'm Klepper. This was Klepper's Corner. Have a good one, folks.